Hey everyone, Tony D with another hot take. This one's about Mike Bloomberg. I'm totally biased against Mike Bloomberg. Let me say first and foremost, I dislike him intently. I dislike anybody who would ban giant sodas and trans fats. Um, I want to be free to eat how I like to eat, and that anyone who could stand up and say, well, this is wrong, and I'm going to outlaw these things, is just an insane authoritarian, as far as I'm concerned. But there have been some recent developments with Mike Bloomberg that are even more shocking than even I thought. Um, the first is he talked about universal health care to a crowd of people, and I'm paraphrasing, so I may not get this exactly right, but basically what he said was um, the reason healthcare is so expensive in the United States is sometimes you get a 95-year-old guy with prostate cancer, and really somebody should say to him, just go home and enjoy your life because, you've had a good run. Whereas, a younger guy, well, we should do everything we can to treat him. That is a horrifying prospect, right? You go into a hospital and they tell you, well, you're really too old for us to save. So please go home and drop dead. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine anyone saying that to you? That would just be that. I think that would kill me if I was 95. Jesus, you're just going to let me die? You're not even going to try? Um, you know, this is horrific. And for someone who supposedly wants to run the country and give us universal health care to say something like that, you know, I don't think Mike Bloomberg would let himself drop dead if he was 95 with prostate cancer. I somehow think that Mike Bloomberg would get all the treatment he wants, wouldn't he? Yeah. So Mike Bloomberg is a horror show in my view. The other thing he's most famous for, I think, is the stop and frisk thing, which, when you hear about it, it sounds like, oh well, it was a program instituted, but maybe that wasn't instituted by Mike, maybe that was his people or the police wanted it or whatever. No, to hear the recording, and you should Google the recording, he's talking about not only violating the rights of basically anybody walking down the street in New York City, he's talking specifically about using that power to violate the rights of minorities who, in his view, commit most of the crime. So, hey, it's just common sense. Yeah, if you're a racist, I cannot believe that this man was allowed to be mayor of New York City, much less run for the presidency. So, if you are a Democrat, quite frankly, I'd rather have Bernie Sanders, who I just lambasted in the previous video, than Mike Bloomberg. My God. Well, first off, I know Bernie or Mike is going to lose against Trump, but Mike Bloomberg would just be a horror show. I mean, he is just the most authoritarian guy. I mean, he thinks he knows better than you. He was quoted as saying, we might as well tax the poor. They don't know how to spend their money. I mean, what? What a horrific statement. How many more horrific statements will come out of this guy's mouth? I'm just more horrified by everything I hear about him. So, if you're a Mike Bloomberg supporter, why? Why are you a Mike Bloomberg supporter? Please tell me in the comments. I know why Bloomberg is in the mix. I think it's because he just bought his way in and he has so much money, the DNC can't turn it down. My understanding is the DNC was broke before the Clintons came in and bailed them out. But the Clintons are famously tight with their money too. So when they bailed out the DNC, I don't think they put much money in it beyond just taking control of it. I don't think they flooded the coffers of the DNC with cash. I think they just took it over and they're using it to enrich themselves. That seems to be the pattern anyway. With Mike Bloomberg, I think they're just hoping that the DNC can use his money to win everybody on the down ballot. So the idea will be, well, we're not going to win the presidency, but we'll hold on to the House and maybe we'll get the Senate back. I don't even think that's going to happen because, quite frankly, I think Bloomberg could spectacularly fail. I mean, he's buying memes, he's buying people and trying to buy influencers online. And if you've ever dealt with any influencers or dealt with people online, and you make YouTube videos or you go to Instagram or wherever you go, you know that people get called out for their BS on the internet every day. People get caught and they get embarrassed. When you're a shill on the internet shilling for somebody, you eventually get caught. And it's bad. It's bad. People who have had hundreds of thousands of fans on YouTube have lost them really quick when they get caught, covertly sponsoring a product or, pretending that they were for somebody when they were against them. He's playing a very dangerous game in the world of the internet, because the internet is often about being very genuine and honest. So I hope he gets caught. I hope, out of all the candidates, I hope Mike Bloomberg does the worst. I really do. I hope he just doesn't even come close to getting on the ballot. There's a rumor he's talking about Hillary Clinton as his running mate. Go for it, Mike. Pick her up. Pick her up, because I think that would seal the deal of his loss, whether he gets the nominee or not. I think if he picks up Hillary Clinton as the VP, I think you can guarantee a brokered convention similar to what happened in the RNC with Ron Paul, where they broker the convention, then change the rules and just say, okay, Bloomberg's going to be the candidate, Hillary's going to be the VP. And I think the pitch will be, well, I'm going to run, and then I'm going to do a few things, and then I'm going to step aside and let Hillary run things. Or, Hillary's going to be like the Democratic Dick Cheney. She's going to run things, but stay in the VP office where she can keep a low profile and do more nefarious things. I can't imagine that ticket winning at all. It would be an absolute landslide, and it would be, a great landslide. That would just be, I'm just flabbergasted that in this day and age, we're even talking about Hillary Clinton again being on any ticket, and Mike Bloomberg, of all people. I mean, I just, I think Rudy Giuliani at one point was running for president, and even him, I thought, oh man, that guy's authoritarian, but quite frankly, not nearly as much as, I think Rudy was authoritarian in sort of the broad strokes with law and order and stuff, but not like micromanaging your life to the point he was outlawing food. Maybe it's because I'm a fat guy and I really like food that really makes me mad about Mike Bloomberg. But yeah, so my advice, if you take any advice from me, please, Democrats, don't vote for Mike Bloomberg.